Really?
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
I'm Dylan Dowler. I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
I'm Dylan Dowler. I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
I'm Dylan Dowler. I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
I'm Dylan Dowler. I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
I'm Dylan Dowler. I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top. And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
Ha! Finally figured it out. Hey guys, what's up? We are here live in the Rock Life studio for the first time ever, live on YouTube. We're a little late this evening for what we normally would be, but we've been trying to get some technical stuff out of the way, trying to figure out what's going on there. So hopefully this is good. Hopefully it's not a she show. But nonetheless, here we are live for the first time ever out the top. I'm Bryant Dunnigan. I am in the Rock Life studio, Monticello, Kentucky. With me, as always, is our co-host and driver of the Rock Life Off-Road L&W chassis in the National Rock Racing Association, Mr. Dan Carter. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Man, it is. I'm nervous. I've never done a live show.
Well, I'm just pretending like it's not even live because I can't find it to share it.
I couldn't find it either. That's why it took us a little long and let the intro play there a few times. I was trying to find the link so I could share it. But we'll figure it out. All right.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, guys, if you're here, we appreciate it. We really appreciate it. There's over 11,000 of you now on the Out the Top subscriber list on YouTube, not counting everybody else who is on Facebook, TikTok, all those other places. We really appreciate each one of you guys. And this week, we usually don't talk about our other social channels, but we've had a lot of interaction on Facebook this week too.
Right.
So if you're looking for race content, the Out the Top has a Facebook page, but you can find me at Timothy Bryant Dunnigan on Facebook. Your Dan Carter Racing on Facebook, and all the other TikToks and Instagrams and So don't
Right.
forget to check us all out in all of those other places as well, because we do post exclusive content to different platforms. So make sure you're checking all that out. But we do appreciate you guys. If you're interested in being an insider member of Out the Top, that is available as well. I don't have the koozies out here this week. But for the next week, if you sign up and be a member of the channel, I'm going to send you guys one of our free magnetic koozies. So make sure and hit that up. Now, let's get right into the weekend. Windrock, we've had all winter to get ready. What was, I know what happened, but let's talk us through the trip of actually physically getting to Windrock for you.
Whew, man, it we didn't have the buggy for the pretty much the off season. You guys had it up there. Um, did some clutch tuning. Nathaniel Bell did some clutch tuning for us. You guys got some kinks kind of ironed out of the buggy that we found probably like right after the battle of the bouncers. And man, I was just this season I've been more nervous than ever for some reason. And getting a Windrock without having any seat time was it was just one of those things that I really wasn't looking forward to it because I knew that I wasn't going to be um, as I guess up to par as I should have been. But everybody knows we've had trouble out of semi, so I've been reverting back to carrying everything with the old Duramax with a race trailer behind it. And about halfway through the trip, noticed that my fuel filter was leaking from the water fuel separator, and we stopped and grabbed dinner, and uh, it was kind of dripping. wasn't paying it no attention. I said, "Well, if it's been dripping this whole time, surely it'll be okay." We go to leave dinner, pull out in the road, and then get in the turning lane. And as we're going into the turning lane, truck just shuts down. So I was like, okay, I feel like that fuel filter has drained. It's got air in the system. I knew exactly what to do. I said, I'll just pump the primer on the side. We're holding up traffic. Two cops go by. They're not stopping to help. So I'm like, okay, you know, we'll be out of everybody's way just as quick as we can. So like I'm pumping and pumping and pumping, jump in the truck to crank it, nothing. Like usually that truck cranks snap your fingers. So I was like, man, I've got some brake parts cleaner. That'll get this thing fired up. I sprayed that like a whole can of it in there, nothing. Got to looking on the side of it, non-flammable brake parts
Got it.
cleaner.
You
I
got to
didn't
get the
even know
red
they
pan.
made such a thing. I
You
didn't
got
know
to
there
get the
was.
red pan.
I never knew there was such a thing as non-flammable brake parts cleaner. But
That's thanks to that government.
man, I had a little bit of transmission fluid like in the back of the truck, so I poured it down in the intake and it fired off that. So luckily we got it up and going. Got to the store up the road, took the filter apart, fixed it. We were good to go. But finally made it to Windrock late that night. Got up the next day, looked at the courses, and man, it's just the courses now are 10 times worse than what they were last year as far as the length of them. Like the stock class, easy peasy, rounds 1 and 2, same course. Anybody could have driven it with their eyes closed. UTV Cup class, on the other hand, I think there was like 18 turns in each course, totally different courses.
Dude, it's getting different. And we'll show a video here in just a second. So that was your trip up there. I didn't even know if we were going to get to come or if I was going to get to come. I knew I had to at least bring the buggy, but I didn't have any help either.
Right.
Had to hire I shouldn't say hire. Had to rehire some old help. Um, got him to come hang out with me for the weekend. Um, and so I didn't get to, I usually have 2 cameras on the hill. My second camera was in the vendor trailer all weekend. Debated on even bringing the vendor trailer. But man, Windrock's always just does such a good job,
Right.
and the crowd is always so good. I hated not to bring it because we have a lot of people that come up to us every year at that event, and they come to buy themselves a new hat or some koozies or something. But they're like, you guys are the one steady thing. Like, you're here. You and Sam from the Next Generation Graphics, you guys are here every race, and we want to come see what new stuff you guys have. So I hated to let people down.
Right.
So we made it. Anyways, got down there. We had, like you said, we'd had the buggy all winter, done some stuff to it. Been starting it every week, dude. Not an issue, right? Um, and we charged the battery once over the winter, and maybe put a jumper on it another time because it was so cold, and the E85 takes a minute to fire. And started at the shop before we got up there, got to Windrock, and it wouldn't hit, not one little lick. Wouldn't do nothing. Thank goodness I had thrown another one of those good Noco batteries in the trailer. So instead of trying to even mess with jumpers and chargers, we had to change the battery in that thing. It was like everything was working against us. Um, but it's just, man, it's the first race of the year. Why wouldn't it? But then, I mean, got down there, had a great time. It was an awesome crowd. I really enjoyed going to Windrock, and what a crowd, dude! What a crowd! It wasn't quite as packed, I don't think, as was it? It wasn't 2020. It was 2021 crowd.
Right.
The 2021 crowd down there was the biggest I've ever seen. This is probably right up there with that. Um. So, anywho, that's enough about that. So let's get into um you were talking about the courses. I know we've stepped back a little bit. We used to run stock, cup, bounty. You even ran some VIN races.
Right.
So, like, really, I know it's hard to memorize the courses, but like, how much pressure? Screw the driving, right? Screw the getting. Let's just say there's an arrows on the course. You know exactly where you're going. It's still hard.
Right.
How much added pressure is it when you go up a turn, or make this loop around this hill or this tree or this flag? Like, how often do you make that turn and go, oh shit, am I where I'm supposed to be?
Right. Right. Especially when you're going uphill, turning to come downhill. Like, you can correct faster going uphill than you can overshooting a turn to come downhill. Because once you're headed downhill, that's a whole nother struggle from trying to back up to revert to get back in the line that you need to be in versus the line you're going. But it's a lot. It's a good bit.
It was when I was racing, that was the hardest part. It wasn't the racing. I was focused so much on where to go, like the actual driving part of it was second. Like, I was like, okay, I've got to get to A, and then from A to B, B to C. And listen, dude, even at do you remember the race at Dirty Turtle where we had a gate?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, Bill was on the hill, um, with a piece of tape, and you went up the hill, and the tape was open, and then as you
Right.
passed, he would swing by with the tape and shut it back off so you knew to go another way. Listen, I would actually be okay with that,
Yeah. And
with some sort of with a little bit better direction.
yeah, and we've seen drivers bring their own cones and throw them
Yes.
out. Say, hey, I know I need to turn here. There's no landmarks for me to turn, So let me just stick this cone right here, and that's going to tell me where to turn. And man, I'm bad about like trying to break a limb, like a little twig or something off a tree. Just say, hey, I need to turn right here. And on one of the downhills for the stock class, there was a tree that had been snapped off like halfway up. And I was like, man, that's a perfect landmark. So as soon as you get to this tree, all you're looking for is a tree. You're not even looking for where you turn. You just know to turn at the tree. And I don't know how many people use that tree as a landmark, but that to me was the only thing that was noticeable of where the perfect spot to turn was to go on that downhill for the finish line.
It like I said, I've seen people bring cones. I have personally hung ribbon in trees,
Yeah.
for people. And I just, even myself, I don't know as I would like, there would have to be somebody there, I think, with a big sign or pointing, like, go this way. I picked on the guy last year down at, uh, what's that new park down in Tennessee?
Oh, the
Pretty
pretty
place.
place.
I picked on that guy for damn near running me over, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we need Eric Hagan back
Yes.
with the billboards. Like
Yes.
I know everybody remembers Eric Hagan. He'd always have the billboards like bounce them if you got them, stuff like that. Uh, always rooting for Bobby Tanner and those guys. But we just need Eric Hagan with an arrow sign, and it's like just run like halfway up the hill. When we turn to go down the hill, have the arrow, hold it up.
Yeah, or get some neons, or just I don't know. Maybe I would be okay with um I don't know anything. People,
Right.
signs, arrows. I know the courses are different, but so we'll get right into. Let's go to your runs. What we're going to do, guys, is um since we're doing this new thing, we have the ability to play some videos as we're going. So we're going to play Dan's. Let's start with the stock class run. I'm going to play it, and then you can kind of see some of the twists and turns and things, and then how that differs from the cup class, which we'll play most of it in a minute. And remember, like, you've got stock has not been as bad recently. It's been mostly the same course twice, which I don't mind, because you go out and you get your feet wet in the first run, and your second run, you should be able to let it eat. I think you picked up 4 or 5 seconds from run to run.
Right.
So I don't mind that so much. But like you, in your case, you're running stock. Let's just say you draw late in stock, right? You draw late in stock, you draw early in cup. So you've got to clear your mind of what you just did and then go straight into something completely different. And I don't know how you guys keep up with that. But let's play that stock video. And if you want, you can kind of talk us through it just a little bit as we go here. Let's get this, if it'll play.
Yeah, I was hesitant on the rocks this go around because those things were brutal at Battle of Bouncers last year.
They didn't look quite as rough. So you've had trouble on this uphill a couple times in the runs. How was that compared to years past?
Yeah, I know that there was a few guys before me that hit that line and they got hung up. And as soon as I got to that point, I just kind of cut it left a little bit to try to get up out of those ruts. And it took me a minute to get on up through there, but hey, at least I didn't turtle out. And then this downhill is probably the most sketchiest downhill that I've seen in a long time. We're used to hitting that hill wide open, going up it.
And this is where I would get confused, where you're crisscrossing the course 2 or 3 different times,
Right.
just so back and forth.
So there's a
and
tree that's broken off like right there.
Yeah. So overall,
it wasn't pretty, but
pretty smooth run. It was a smooth run.
It wasn't real pretty, but we got the job done.
So let's talk stock class. You've drug that that unit all over the country for years. Um, Nathaniel says we need to put rockers on the 570 and run in the stock class. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I was trying to keep up with the comment section. It's and Ninja Pat's been chatting it up in there. I see
so
Nathaniel
what?
Bell.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Nathaniel Bell, um, this live stream thing may be bad. I'm going to
Yeah, probably going to get way.
so squirrel out here. Uh, Congratulations to Nathaniel. He is a daddy officially
Oh
as
man,
of this morning.
yes sir.
Um,
Congratulations. I saw the baby's room, and then I was like, man, I didn't know he was married. I had a kid or nothing.
so for you guys
I'm
that
skipping. I'm like the worst racer friend in all of existence.
yeah, so for you guys who don't know who the Nathaniel is, he is the reigning bounty champion for the National Rock Racing Association, and he was worried. He was worried if he was going to get to come to Windrock because of the baby situation. And then he was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, well, we'll find somebody to run for you if you can or whatever. But I'm glad it all worked out. Now he's going to have to. Boy, I'm telling you, racing with a newborn, that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Good times though.
It's
I wish
doable
it's,
though, man. We've
yo,
we've
it's
seen
doable.
we've seen this sport has seen a lot of babies coming into it.
Yes,
So I mean,
and a lot of them are racing.
yeah, I remember like finals. Paul Wolf had, they were having a baby, and she came down to see him, and they did the
Oh yeah,
finals and left. And on the way home, she had Laney,
yes, I remember that.
and then see Wade. Wade had a little one not too long ago. Well, Mahaley did, his wife. I'm not gonna say Wade.
Well,
Uh,
you never know. Wade can do about anything.
yeah, no, and then there's a few others.
All right, before we get too far strung out, the stock class. What, in your opinion, if we're going to keep dragging that machine all over the country and running stock class, we're going to have to pep it up a little bit, do a little something. What do you think? I mean, without putting a big $10,000 engine in it, what do you think it needs to get stepped up to the level of some of these other guys? So to put it in perspective, guys, we're running a 2016 Polaris Turbo Razor.
Right.
It's got the 16 engine, the 16 transmission. It's probably how many miles it got on it now? 600.
Yeah, it's like less than like 750.
And every one of them
It's it's pretty
has
much
been
race miles.
race miles.
I
So
think
what does it need?
I think the thing that machine needs the most, which you guys went through it last year, and our goal then is if we had time, was to go ahead and upgrade the transmission. The 16 transmission is a little bit lower geared, so what my thoughts were is put a 17 and up transmission that's a little bit higher geared transmission in it. I feel like that would help that machine a good bit.
We changed so you can take a 16 motor and put 17 cams in it. We done all that, and that
Right.
seemed to help it a little bit. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's missing a little oomph,
Right.
a little punch. It needs a little. You want to put it on E? Let's put it on E85.
I thought about that. I really have, and that's not out of the question either. We went ahead and we bought the water cooled turbo and stuff for it. So I mean, we've got the stuff to pepper on up a little bit. But
Did we put the turbo on it, or have you just got it sitting on the shelf?
I know we've got one sitting on the shelf, but I don't know if we ever put it on there or not.
I don't think we put that. I don't think we put one on
I don't
there.
think it is.
We need some more power. More power. But we've also got another stock class rig in the works.
Yeah.
Whenever we get it done. And it's not the Ranger we were told no on. I hope it's going to have rocker panels.
Right.
That was the topic of the weekend down there was rocker panels.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody was asking me about my rocker panels. you know, it is what it is. So let's get into uh, the cup run a little bit. So you run the first run and went, I thought, fairly smooth. For the most part. And then when you went to pull up the second run, I looked over and was going to get just like some video of you rolling up to the line and stuff. And I seen you turn in the steering wheel
Right.
and the front tires weren't turning. And I was like, oh no, that's not good. And so you called me over there, and sure enough, we had stripped the steering shaft.
Right.
First world problems. We didn't go hydro. There's probably how many EPS buggies are left?
I would say out of the 20 or so guys running stock class, I mean, running the cup class, I would say that there's probably 3 to 5 if there's that many.
Everybody else is hydro, and
Right.
we're poor folk, so we didn't do it. We decided we would spend our money on other areas, and it finally bit us the first time. But we've got a fix to that coming. But let's play now. Let's play your cup run, and you can kind of walk us through that. How was it course wise? I feel like this is probably one of the easier um, courses as far as violence goes, I guess you could say.
Right.
Like it's still hard. I mean, nothing about this is easy, but as far as the actual sheer brutality of the course, this is pretty tame considering. So let's play that, and you guys tell us what you think. Come on, baby. I had to cut the rock section off this one. How steep is that first set of hills?
They're not too bad, but the very, very top is probably the steepest ledge.
Really? I've only ever been up there one time.
Man, trying to remember all those turns is like, I don't know. You're just in the race mode, and then you're like, "Am I going the right way?" I know we were
Well,
supposed to go between these super
well,
grip flags, but I don't
well
remember.
that section right there would confuse me because very rarely do we cut through the flags like that.
Right.
And now I think it looked good shooting right up through here. I mean, it just rolled.
I remember, like, I got a little bit off course right in there, and then I hit a tree, and then I had to back up a little bit, and I think that may have been where the steering shaft stripped. Like, I just remember hearing something popping when I was turning, and I was like, "I don't know what that is. We're just gonna keep."
I'm telling you, dude, I think out of all that whole course, dropping over that last hill, the very top of it, dropping over that would get me more than anything.
Oh yeah, it's like automatic want to puke.
Well, it's just like I was trying to explain it to somebody at the shop today because we were watching we were kind of watching back Braden's runs, and like he was a little slow on the downhill, and they're like, "Well, why aren't you going?" And I was like, "Dude, you got to understand, you're literally driving blind.
Right.
Like you've looked at it, you've walked it, you've done all this, you've done that, but you're literally driving blind. Once the front tires get to the edge of that and it just starts rolling, I mean, you've got to hope you lined it up in the right direction." And you're kind of timid about going too fast because if you didn't, it could end badly.
Right.
And we watched the one Can-Am, and I'm going to play those two crash videos here in just a minute that Pat was talking about. The one Can-Am come off the hill and missed the line at the very bottom and
Right.
took the whole rear end off the car. Um, so you've got, I mean, that would just be for me. No, let me point it up within reason. Let me point it up and go where I can at least see where I'm maybe supposed to be going. But that
Right.
just it's like Bikini Bottoms that time. I rolled up to one of those hills we had to come off of. I didn't have any brakes. And I'm sitting there at the top of the hill trying to pump the brakes, trying to pump something up. Matt Myrick standing right there next to me with a camera. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I got no brakes. I'm trying to pump up brakes." He said, "You don't need no damn brakes. Go." Like, no, I need the brakes.
Right.
You might not need the brakes, but I do. Oh man. Well, let's watch. So I mentioned it there. Let's look at um these crash videos, dude. Like these poor
Oh
guys.
man.
This
And then
first Can-Am. This is exactly why you walk the course. As much of it as you can, every chance you get, because one miscalculation, one, especially in the high speed areas,
oh yeah.
one little thing. Listen, we got to this dude, and I'm sorry I keep forgetting his name, but when we got to this dude, he was sonoring. OUT. He wasn't out the top. He was out of sleep. And so yeah, this is so violent. This is a short little clip. I mean, out across the rocks, gonna have an easy little climb up this hill. Oh, I mean,
Mm.
dude, that's rough.
Oh
That is
yeah.
so bad.
Man.
He commented on one of our videos that it is in the shop getting a new frame put under it. He is going to be at
Yeah.
the next race.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, it's
I would
like, man,
retire.
there's yeah. That'll make you want to just hang it up.
I would retire. What's I'm gonna assume Disney, but what's the hardest hit you've ever taken?
Oh yeah, Disney by far.
Yeah, you were um when when you got the buggy parked or got I'm trying to remember how we even done it. I think we pulled it out of the way up there, didn't we? And then you went over to one of the other cars and was getting ready to run for a different class.
Yeah.
And you were sitting in the car and I was looking at you and I was like, "Are you okay?" Like, I'm pretty sure you were concussed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that hurt. And then I had a pretty bad hit. The pink buggy at Bikini Bottoms last time we raced there. That thing cut off like right as I took off from that double jump, and I cased right on that double jump, and man, it that stove me up bad. Like it knocked the breath out of me.
Oh, yeah.
But
When the buggy died out.
dude, I went back like I got out of the buggy. I think Cody Kaysen may have helped get the buggy back out or some or Brantley or somebody. One of them jumped in the buggy to help pull it out, and I was like, man, just take it. I went back to the trailer and I laid down.
Yeah, that was I'd forgot about that.
But
And that was that was just a nothing. I mean, it just cased out and you
yeah,
wasn't
and
even
I
going
mean,
that hard, but that's just solid to nothing.
yeah, and it didn't look like near as bad as uh, Disney. But man, yeah, Disney hurt pretty bad. But that was probably those two right there, like neck and neck. But Disney, whew, yeah, it's different.
The the Disney one, I mean, if you watch the video back in slow-mo, you can see like I don't know how your hand wasn't broke.
Oh yeah,
You
when
could
the wrist
see
restraint
your
broke.
wrist restraint broke, hand out the window. I mean, it knocked the visor off your helmet.
Yeah,
Ugh, that just mm, there's a reason you boys do this, not me. Um,
just no sense. Don't know any
uh,
better.
well, all right, let's watch this. Tell me tell me where this went wrong.
Whew. Yeah, I know this one.
No, this is the other one. This is the other Can-Am here.
Yeah. Oh,
Just a slight miscalculation.
yeah. That second tree is guilt by association.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some internet trolls on this
So I'm
talking about having 3 bars and not having 3 bars.
well,
As hard as he hit that, does a tree bar do anything?
man, I think it would have just folded the tree bar up,
I kind of do too. It might have not
depending
have
on
been.
the fabricator.
It might have not have been so bad. It might have deflected some, but
Yeah.
I mean, he hit that son of a gun wide, effing
Yeah.
open.
But man, like coming off that hill, that's another thing. Like you want to make sure you've got a good line, but that hill, it would either throw you far left or a little bit right. And like when it threw you a little bit right, it was like right in line with that tree. I can't believe there weren't more people hit that tree this weekend.
Well, I think that got everybody's attention,
Yeah.
and I think everybody
Yeah.
was very vigilant after that.
Right. Even the first Can Am that hit the stump, like it did like you definitely saw everybody kind of checking up in that area.
And then, like, I was kind of worried about the youth class, not the youth class, our new teen slash amateur class.
Right.
I was
Right.
worried about those guys coming off that same hill. You're talking, 13, 14, 15-year olds in these razors. This is the first year of the class, so it could be the first time any of them have ever really driven on much of
Right.
this stuff. And they're coming off that big old hill straight into that tree. Like, I think the tree's better there than it is a stump in the ground.
Right.
But I mean, it got everybody's attention. Speaking of the new class, anything that really stuck out to you this weekend? What about our 2 new classes? Um, anything memorable for you?
Eh, it was good to see that they incorporated the classes. Um, I was thinking that they were going to do the amateur class, or not the amateur. Well, yeah, the amateur, the teen class. I was for some reason thinking it was going to be Friday, but they moved it over to Saturday. So, man, it's like I said, it was good. There was only probably 4 racers that ran that class. All of them looked to be, uh, like they knew what they were doing. I felt like Brantley, Havens, he was able to pull off a first place run, but I think there was some competition there for him. It wasn't just like a I was thinking it was going to be more like a beginner's class, but it obviously wasn't.
So our teen class ran the exact same course that the stock class ran.
Right,
There was 4 entered in it. You had I forget the girl's name, um, but one car didn't make it past the rock pile,
right,
and then the other 3 did finish both hills. Brantley took the sweep in that, finishing first in both hills, getting a perfect 103 for the weekend. But now the kid driving the Turbo R is going to give Brantley fits this year.
yeah,
Um, that kid was fast, and he was right there behind him. And once he gets a little seat time, that's going to be a really good championship battle throughout the year.
right,
Eventually, one of them is going to get a DNF, and that'll kind of spread it open, maybe. But um, if those kids, and I think those 4 kids that were in the class, I think they're all signed up for the year.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're going to have a 4-way, you know, I know the two kids, and then, but they're going to have a pretty good 4-way battle um, to get on the podium for the season. So that's going to be fun to kind of watch. Our new bouncer class, kind of disappointed in a couple things. I'm kind of disappointed that there's some people running in the big class that didn't drop down.
Right.
I don't know why you wouldn't do that if you're not competitive in that class. I don't know why you wouldn't drop down and run in the limited bouncer.
Right.
Um, it just doesn't make any sense when we're trying to grow this class and it's perfect for you. I don't know why. But then also, the one we had talked about, we knew was going to be in the class all winter long was Chris Grigg.
Yeah.
He was not allowed to run.
Hmm.
He didn't fit. Of course, the rules for the limited bouncer class are no rear steer, period. And you're not allowed to have, it's either got to be NA, stock block, or single shock. Of course, Chris doesn't have rear steer, and I'm not sure on his engine combo. Don't know what's going on there. But evidently, he was using this shock rule to try and get into that class. But he has a bypass and a coil carrier.
Mm.
And technically, that coil carrier is considered a second shock. He
Right.
says he emptied it out, and it's just literally a coil carrier, but they did not allow him to do that. Told him to get back down to a single shock if he wants to run that class. I think they're going to let him if he gets in the rules.
Right.
So there's only 2 in the limited bouncer class. So all these guys that are saying rock bouncing's been outpriced, they can't keep up, they can't do this, they can't do that. We've heard for the last 2 or 3 years about, oh, my buggy would come, would walk all over this and that, and then nobody showed up.
Right.
So I just don't want this to be a one and done class. I don't want 1 year and then it's over. Um, hopefully we'll get some more interest in this thing as the year goes on. And I mean, listen, the buggies that are in it are not any. They're no jokes. Justin Carter's fast.
Right.
That's a good working buggy.
Yeah.
Um, Showstopper is an old buggy,
Yeah.
but it is plenty capable.
Yeah. Hoback was on it this weekend.
And then if Greg gets his stuff worked out, where he's eligible for that class, he will be. Um, he'll be tough. So that class is nothing to turn your nose at. Like it's going to be good.
Right.
Um, so we'll see. Anywho, so let's see what else have I got. Oh, I seen Pat made a comment in the chat here about Nick Rock losing his brakes.
Oh yeah.
So I was standing right down there, and I was kind of lazy Saturday morning. I got up, um, had some work stuff to do at the trailer to help with that. I actually missed the first run of UTV Bounty. Didn't get over to the hill until the bouncers were running. So I didn't want to run out in the course in the middle of the race and try and find a spot. So I just stood on that end down there next to Bub Meadows and Clyde and the Hobacks and I think Busted Knuckle was down there. So we were all just standing there talking and whatnot, filming, taking pictures and whatnot. And then here goes Nick. He comes through the finish line. I quit recording, and that was dumb because then he runs at Bub at 1,000 miles an hour. Bub goes flying. Nick runs into this mud hole down here in the end and a big brush pile.
Right.
Listen, it was exciting, scary. Nobody got hurt, but I was like, when I seen what was happening, the only thing I could think is we were just talking about the other day was how, one of my fears in rolling these buggies is a stick coming in.
Oh
That's
yeah.
my biggest fear. Fuck all these rocks falling off hills. A stick's going to get somebody one of these days. Um, and here Nick is running 40 mile an hour into a brush pile.
Right. Yeah.
And all I could think about was God, please don't let nothing come through that buggy in on him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I didn't know what happened. All I know is we all scattered, and that's why I hang around trees when I'm filming. I try to always get by something very large that will not move.
Right.
I remember watching a video. Oh, I think it was last year, maybe at Missouri, or the year before. I don't know. It might have been last year, but it was Matt Myrick was up on the hill filming, and one of the big bouncers come rolling down, and that dude's a seasoned pro. Like, he hangs out by a tree
Hmm.
and never quits filming. That buggy starts rolling. He just walks around the tree to the other side. Always gets it on film. Like, I'm like, dude, are you okay? Because I was texting. I was like, are you okay? How close is that? He's like, there was a tree there. I'm good. No, no, that worries me.
Yeah. Like, and it's. Did you see what Chris Grigg did to that tree?
Yes, cleared it.
So that's like the prime
Cleared
example
it.
of like, I need the biggest tree.
Cleared it. Like, that video is up on my Facebook too. So go
What
check
do you
it
call
out.
them thing? Fella bunchers? What's my loggers? Is that the right term for that? A fella buncher that's like a skidder with a big head on it that just eats a tree right in half, like cuts it in half like it's nothing.
It's a tree cutter downer thingy. Dan,
Yeah,
I don't know what it's
like
called.
Chris Grigg went from driving to fucking logging.
Quick. So anyways, Windrock, good event. Glad to get back racing. Gonna get old Blue fixed back up. Gonna have it at
Wildcat.
Wildcat. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Close to home. Boys, I wish we could race 10 times a year at Wildcat. I'd love it.
Man, that would be great.
It'd be nice.
I would
It'd be
leave the
nice.
buggy there.
You could leave the buggy
You,
race trailer at all.
yeah,
We just get it all organized. You just pack your clothes and come on up in the rental,
that's it.
and you'd be ready to go. Overall, good event. Did you or have you seen anything? So this is one of the rare weekends where we did overlap with Outlaw. Did you see anything really from down there?
No, no, just somebody said here's the winners from Outlaw, and I was really confused because Tim Cameron was on the podium.
Well, that's what happens when you race and win.
I mean, I
So,
would not expect him not to be on the podium, but everybody I've talked to is, hey, Reject paid Timmy to take the year off so they could win a championship with National Rock, and then like
you
he
didn't
goes
say that out
he goes
loud.
to Outlaw and just cleans the house.
So, from my understanding, Timmy ran for Clay in the UTVs
Hmm.
in his new trail rig or whatever. And then I guess he showed up to run, and Danica, the girl who runs what was the old window liquor buggy.
Yeah, she's got,
She's
or she did have one of Timmy's old buggies at one.
Yes, she had underrated. I
That's
think it was
right.
underrated. She asked Timmy if he would run her buggy for her that weekend to shake it down and to, I guess, kind of help him with the points or whatever. So Timmy actually run her buggy and smoked the field in. So that buggy is actually 2 for 2 in Outlaw because that's a shared unit.
Yeah, that's right.
It it won the first race
He's an opener. Yeah.
with the um guys. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. I'm not familiar with these guys.
The
The
other,
boy driving it.
yeah.
Yep. So that buggy's 2 for 2. So it can win. So I don't know, boys. I don't know if I would want Timmy to drive something of mine
Yeah.
because he's going to go out there and lay down a screamer, and then you're going to go get in it, and then everybody's going to be like, "Well, Timmy did it. Why can't you?"
Right.
That's the goat, though. Like, you can't just because I can shoot a free throw and Michael Jordan can shoot a free throw doesn't mean I'm on Michael Jordan's level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the goat. But that'd put a lot of pressure back on you, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But I did get the results for the most part from Outlaw, but I didn't see car count getting Outlaw to post results. I don't know why it's so hard. Post your results, celebrate your racers. Um I've not seen one bit of social, and I'm going to keep harping on this until somebody does it. I've not seen one piece of actual official results with podiums
I
listed
think those
anywhere.
guys just get together somewhere in the woods and take pictures of each other on the podium. Like I don't like you
I'm
don't know
starting to
what goes
wonder.
on down there. It's like,
I'm starting to
man,
wonder. And I've said it and I've said it and I've said it, and I don't mean to pick on them, but come on. You've got to do better. You've got to do better. And I know I'm not doing it. I probably couldn't do better either, but I'm not the one trying to run a series.
well, like you
Uh,
said, you want to celebrate your racers. You want to show. Yeah, I mean, you've got a series, so you need to showboat it. You know, you
yeah,
need to advertise that you're doing cool shit in the woods
I
with
would
your
want
friends.
I would want the minute the podiums are done, a post going out. At the very least about the winners,
Right.
you know, at the very least. Um I don't want to go down that road today. We'll go over the winners for that. I mean, we've got them included in our rundown that we're going to get to here in just a sec. Selfies. Yes. Um, so we'll go over their finishers as we get to that here in just a minute. Um, what's expectations? I want legit expectations for Wildcat.
Ooh,
So last
for me,
year, yes,
man,
yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
finished with no bent wheels.
That's a good one. Um, so last year we were running, the field's fast, but we were running top 10. You were finishing top 10, seventh, eighth. I think might have got a top 5 somewhere, pretty place, real close to it or something. But you're right there with them. And then coming into Windrock with 0 seat time over the winter, like none, 0. I think you were 7th on the first run.
I'm okay with that.
Would have had, had we gotten to run, I feel like we would have had a top 6, top 7 run again. So that would have put us, we'd have been right there at the top 5.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
realistically, what is a um, successful weekend for you race wise coming out of Wildcat?
Man, Wildcat is uh there's so many rocks at Wildcat. And last time we were there, we had a problem bending the rims, and we pushed the car extremely, extremely hard. We've got a different wheel tire setup now, still running the Super Grip setup, but we've went to a different wheel. So we're gonna see how well this wheel performs at Wildcat. So that real fast 5 times.
No.
So um, realistically, I would love top five finish at Wildcat, and I don't see that that would be impossible. There's a couple of lines that I've seen in the past that people aren't hitting that I'm definitely going to try to hit this go around. So we'll see how we fare with that.
The courses there are usually pretty similar. There's
Right,
only so much you can do. It's up the stair steps, down the thing, around the rock, and there's only so much you can do. So it's going to be more of the same. Um, but yeah, I feel like top five for us needs to be a realistic goal.
right,
Um, it's not out of reach by no means, and I think it's something to shoot for. With outside shot at podium on any given weekend. Because listen, guys, we all know it. Clay Cason's fast. Cooper
right.
Bentley's fast. Um, Dylan Dowler is
Oh
fast.
yeah,
Speaking of which, Dylan, bless his heart, lost a motor in his full body this weekend at Windrock, so that's why he was whipping the old school bus around.
right.
Um, but those guys, that are up there every week, they're pushing it. They're hauling the mail.
Hmm.
And they're going to be hard to compete with every weekend. So, but we're right there. We're right there behind them. We just need, um, I don't know, just smooth, good runs, no hangups, no backups. Um, I think at finals, I think you're a backup or two away from. I can't remember where we finished for the weekend, but you're a couple. I think we see you and Timmy tied for seventh or eighth, I think,
Hmm.
for the weekend. I mean, I think you're a couple backups away from a top five at finals.
Right.
So we're there.
Well, and it's like you talking about backups. Uh, that was our goal for Battle of Bouncers was like we need two good smooth runs, no backups. And that was our goal. That was our mindset. And it wasn't even like, hey, let's see if we can shoot for top five, top 10. There was like 20 people in that class. But, that was our goal. Like, hey, let's just do two good, smooth runs as fast as we can, no backups, no matter what. And we did just that and pulled off third. So, I mean, that's where it's at, like being consistent and no backups, no
Yeah.
backsies.
No take backsies. Must commit. Speaking of which, I'm going to say this out loud. I've said it all week, or all week since the race. I've told several people. I'm going to pick on our boy Braden. Um, he had, of course, we got the new car done for him. You couldn't have drove a thumbtack up his rear end Friday morning. Nervous. Jeez, nervous. I literally grabbed him by the shoulders one time. I said, "You have got to chill out." I don't know why he was so wound up. And like he was just I said, "Braden, you've raced. You've run stock for 3 years now. This is just a more exaggerated version of that.
Mhm.
I get it. You're in a new car, but listen, it's still the same thing.
Right.
You'll be fine." And he went out and ran the first run, done really good, I thought. Um, a little slow on the downhills, but I mean, we've talked about that.
Hmm.
Getting used to a new car, coming over those hills. And then his second run, he has a backup on the first little hill.
Mm.
And was just after that, it just messed him up and he was just slow the rest of the run.
Right.
But I told everybody, I was like, man, I was trying to study the video of Braden's runs, trying to see where he could pick up and get some more time. And I said, hell, I was watching it and I was like, my phone's jacked up. Like the video's going in reverse. And I was like, oh, never mind. That's just Braden being a little bitch and backing off the hill. So if he don't want me to make fun of him anymore, there'll be no more of that. He's gonna have to hit it. But I'm proud of him. I think he's going to Top Trails this weekend and going to try and come take some Alabama money.
Oh boy.
If the weather
Hey,
permits.
it is supposed to be nasty this weekend.
Well, they had an event, some kind of event at Talladega Super Speedway Saturday, and they have postponed it
Mhm.
because of the impeding weather. I seen Pat's comment here about Ethan Hunt. Let's talk about that real quick before we get into the rundown. So Ethan run in UTV Unlimited, and Bouncers and Bounty. What did you think about that new Pro R?
Man, that car is badass. Unfortunately, I think it's way too heavy. I
Two
did
things.
notice. Yeah, I
Go ahead.
did notice though, like when he came in the straightaway, like at the bottom of the hill in Cup, he was faster from the bottom of the hill to the finish line by 3 or 4 times. I mean, like from the bottom of the hill to the finish line, it looked like you were fast forwarding his run compared to everybody else. So I think if he gets some seat time in that thing and gets control over it, I mean, it even though it weighs a pretty good bit, I think it could be a pretty competitive car.
I don't think this is just personal opinion. I don't think you'll ever see that car on the podium in the unlimited class.
Yeah,
I just don't think it has enough. I don't think the suspension is right to run fast enough to outrun our top guys.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I can
it's
see that.
well, you could watch it moving around on the hills. Um, our fast guys almost no body roll.
Right.
Like, and these guys don't have. I mean, they probably have rear sway bar. They don't have any front sway bars. Um, it's just all in the suspension settings. They don't have much body roll, and you could watch that pro when he would crank the rear steer. Like it would almost pick up. Like if he was turning the rear steer tires to the right, it would pick the left front up.
Yeah.
It would torque that machine so much. One, because it weighs, I think they said 3,200 pounds.
Hmm.
And then the Pro platform, although it is a very powerful and has a very plush suspension set in it from factory, we're not in the desert.
Right.
That is a desert car. And I know they went and won hammers in that Polaris factory racing car, but he won that race in the desert. He had the ground clearance to get through the rocks. He probably didn't get through the rocks quicker than anybody else, but he won that race in the desert. I don't think I just don't think that car is going to podium in the unlimited class. Now,
Yeah.
Bounty, on the other hand, he could, with a little seat time, be very, very competitive in the Bounty class.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that too.
Having the ability of the rear steer in that class may come in very beneficial in certain places.
Right.
Um, I'm off the top of my head, I'm thinking of the Rock Hill at Hawk Pride,
Yeah.
the one that everybody has trouble going up.
Hmm.
Not No Respect, the
Maverick.
one next to it, Maverick.
Hmm.
He could probably shoot right up that.
Oh yeah.
Even, and I know it was a little bit easier, I think, last year, but if they put that hill back to the configuration it was when it was impossible to climb,
Mhm.
he could probably crawl it. So I do see some bounty wins in his future. I think Cup is going to be a good place for him to get seat time. He'll get some top fives probably. Podiums are going to be tough.
Right.
But he could, with a little seat time, he could win the bounty championship in that deal very easily, I think. They said 600 horsepower.
True.
600. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's a lot
I
for
don't know.
guys.
I don't know, but man, did you did you see him in the bouncer class?
Oh, he's wide open, dude.
Man, like hit like I knew he was going to hit it, but I didn't know he was going to hit it that dang hard. But like the first rock pile, he hit it like straight up in the air. Then the turn going up the main hill, the first big run up the hill, got up to where like the old finish line was, and man, if we were having like an air out contest, he would have won that by tenfold.
He,
But
from what I've seen him run with some seat time, he's going to be really good. Right
yeah,
now, I feel like he's a little too aggressive,
yeah,
you know, and he'll get it.
yeah.
And
Like to
maybe that's how it'll be. But
yeah. Well, like to make time, you've got to keep the car on the ground. Like that's
yes,
just all it is.
yes.
And once he figures that out, I think you'll see him get a lot faster.
Yeah, I think seat time is going to do him wonders. He's young. Um, he came and ran our county fair up here last year that we put on.
Yeah.
Um, and hopefully if we do that again, dude, that Pro R rig at that event would probably do really good
Oh yeah.
because it has so much suspension and he
Right.
can just walk across some of that stuff. Um, so it's got its pluses and its minuses. It is a slicker looking rig.
Oh
Whoever
yeah.
built it did a really good job. So, anywho, that's enough rambling. If you got nothing else, we'll get into the rundown for this week. We'll start with Outlaw. Guys, I did the best I could. They won't help me, so I done what I could. Outlaw UTV, your winner was Cody Carlock. Timmy Cameron in second, running for Clay Kaysen. Clay should be your points leader now. And in third place, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah. Reached out to Outlaw, but no comment.
No comment. Who you got for Outlaw Bouncer?
Man, Outlaw Bouncer, we had first place was Timmy, second place Jonathan O'Mary, third place Jerry Gray.
What about the old Taz buggy? Man, Jerry's been beating that thing like it owes him money.
Oh man, I didn't know that's who wound up with it.
Yes.
So what's O'Mary running? I know they're a team.
I think O'Mary is in one of the Outlaw buggies.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's driving that. So yeah, that's your Outlaw for the weekend. Sorry, I didn't get their Pro-Am class, and I wasn't real sure who got third in UTVs. Nonetheless, we'll do what we can. Moving on to the National Rock Racing Association round number 1 from Windrock, Tennessee for your 2025 season. We'll start off with our UTV youth class. Ramsey Trainer took the win in that class with Clara Hoback in second and Easton Hilton in third.
Good job, guys. For UTV amateur, we had Brantley Havens in first. Second place was Jace Northington, and third place Sadie Ellison.
UTV stock. I don't know how many in a row this is, but it's several. Cody Kaysen was your winner. Dylan Dowler in the rental 4-seater took second, and Brandon Davis in the rocker panel-less Can-Am X3 was your third place winner.
Yeah, you said you didn't know how many it was in a row. I do. It is enough.
It's enough.
Calm it down.
Leave some for the rest of us.
All right, guys, moving on to the UTV Cup. We had Cody's brother, Clay Kaysen, taking home first place. Second place was Brian Smith in a rental. He was having some sort of transmission issues when he was pre-running the course, so he borrowed a buggy and put it on the podium this weekend. Third place, rounding up the podiums for UTV Cup, was Cooper Bentley.
UTV Bounty, Clay Kaysen once again got the win in Bounty class. Nathan King had a couple screaming runs running in substitution for Austin Tidwell. He got second place, and Casey Howell rounded out the top three.
For the Bouncer Limited class, first place we had Dustin Carter. Second place, Justin Hoback. And third place could have been you.
Could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody. So bring those limited bouncers out and let's see you guys at Windrock, not Windrock Wildcat.
See, you're doing it too.
Yeah, you done got me.
Sorry. Our bouncer class guys had a big field, awesome time, good turnout at Windrock. Wade Good made his season debut in the Nemesis buggy, I think it's called. Wade took the win. Cooper Bentley in second place, and Brandon Davis once again had a couple really good runs, starting his season off a whole lot better than how most of his season went last year in third place. Good to see Brandon up there.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, our next event is going to be Wildcat Off-Road Park, March 28th and 27th. The park is already out of hookup camping and cabins. They do have primitive campsites still available. So call and get on the list there. Do not let this event be like finals, guys. We need our regular Wildcat spring turnout. We want a big crowd there. We're going to show up and show out, and look forward to seeing everybody at Wildcat here in a few weeks. Daniel, it's been good. It's been fun. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed our first ever live out the top here on YouTube. This may become the new norm. We may be live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
I'd like to get a show of hands just to see who enjoyed it, and if that, like you said, if that's something we want to continue doing, I will try not to get so off track next time.
No,
but I have definitely enjoyed the comment section.
I have too. It's good to have some interaction.
Right.
Seems like we've tried to get interaction post, and then something, stuff we could react to the next week. We haven't had a whole lot of luck with that. But if we can start making this a regular thing, Tuesday nights at 9:00, just make a schedule, guys. We'll be live, 9:15 every Tuesday night.
That's
or
Eastern.
At least Eastern time,
Eastern
or most Tuesday nights. I think this could be a good thing. Let us bring in some guests live, things like that. So, anywho, let us know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and guys, we'll see you all. We'll try and get something together, and we'll be back next Tuesday.
See ya.
Peace out.